here we are, about 5 minutes from takeoff. It's the urban Wall Street, on my way out to Vegas, but we're going to stop in Detroit. The Reconstruction of Detroit is a serious situation. My brother Chico's out there buying up houses and plots of land to rebuild and build a community. So keep watching. It's a beautiful situation. We got to take accountability. We're about to take off right now, so I got to shut this down. But see you in Detroit. Peace. My man Chico, Trendsetters LLC, we in the building, Detroit. What's good, baby?
What's up with you?
Everything here. I got my man Chico Sorrell, Trendsetters. Yo, let's tell him what's happening, man, in the D, baby. What's happening right now?
Oh man, just trying to make some future moves, I guess. Trying to set myself up, my family, and my people. Trying to help my black folks out too. You know.
So you
trying
know
to get them some houses and trying to establish a community in an area that was once a thriving community, actually. And the same street that I'm building on primarily is the same street that Joe Louis once lived on. You know, so it's a historic area, but unfortunately, you know, with the decline of Detroit, this is one of the hardest hit areas as well. So I'm trying to rebuild it.
So what what made you? I know you're a native of the Detroit, man. You know, I've known that for 20 years and it's a beautiful thing. But what made you decide? You know, I'm gonna take the baton, you know, and start rebuilding. You're not a juggernaut, you're not a giant,
right?
But something made you decide. You know, with what I have, I'm gonna make it even bigger and better. You know, what was the inspiration?
Well, you know, my inspiration came back from Howard. One of my good friends, Tyrone Domio, his name is Diop now, and Gino Ramos. I know Gino's father was into real estate a long time ago, and they were doing very well financially. I went and visited their place out in LA. My boy Tyrone Diop, he would talk about real estate a lot. And at the time, a lot of people don't know, but one of the guys I looked up to at the time was Reginald Lewis, and I also looked up to Ted Turner. You know, actually, and I would read a lot about these guys, and a lot of these guys got rich and made some significant marks in society, really based on the acquisition of real estate and other business deals. So I just started focusing on real estate, kind of like when I came back from Howard. Once I landed me, a permanent job in education, I would always do real estate on the side. So I bought my first house for $1,000 in Detroit back in I think it was something like 1995 or something like that. And I just haven't stopped, from there. So this area right here was chosen because I grew up downtown Detroit, but on this one particular side of downtown, it's like the undeveloped side of downtown Detroit. And I just decided that, hey, I'm not going to wait for somebody else to develop it, because obviously they don't plan to be doing that. They don't plan to do that anytime soon. So I just took it upon myself to use the resources that I have and the finances that I was able to save, and also the little bit of expertise that I had learned from 1995 when I bought my first house, to decide to, hey, I'll be that catalyst for making that change in this part of downtown Detroit.
So you been up?
Yeah, man, I've been up 8 hours. I've only gotten 8 hours of sleep in the last 2 days, and usually it's always like that though. I get little sleep because I'm always thinking about my next project, or always trying to manage the guys that's on the job. Always have to try to work out floor plans, drawings, and different ideas about certain things, but more importantly, just making sure people are doing what they're supposed to do. It's unfortunate, but that you have to kind of watch over grown folks sometimes, but that's just how it is in this business, especially. People get to work early, but they don't always. They get to work at 9 o'clock. They get to work on time, but they're not always working.
Right.
And this is time is money, and you got to finish these projects, or you'd be off. You'd be wasting a lot of time, a lot of money.
Now, the area you're going to see, Chico, tell me something that people, when you're not from a particular city, all you know is what, news media's report,
right.
Or sometimes depending on the area and the population, it's not necessarily a positive, representation. So what's something about this part of Detroit, man, that if you're not from Detroit, you wouldn't know, whether it's the richness, whether there's something great about it, because it's another reason why, you decide I want to come back and do this. So tell me something about this area that we don't know.
Well, first of all, Detroit gets a very bad rap. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of crazy stuff that go on here, but there's a lot of great things that are happening here in Detroit too, and that's before we went to bankruptcy and before everybody thought maybe it'd be a decent place to invest. Now, it was always nice. Always had good people in certain areas, really, of Detroit, and it always had very, very good houses, very well built historic type of houses. And these houses in this area, on one side of the street is all condos, co-ops, and apartments, very developed. And on the other side of the street, which is Verner, I'm talking about Verner Street, it's all old houses that are very sturdy, very well built, and they were still preserved to a certain degree where they could be repaired. They just needed some tender care. And the average person, especially somebody coming from another city, may look at this and be like, yo, this stuff is crazy. It looks like a war zone or something like that. And I can understand that. And many parts of Detroit does. It kind of favors that. However, that didn't stop me from doing what I wanted to do. And that didn't stop me from the vision that I had for this side of Vernon.
You say there's a lot of billionaires, there's a lot of heavy hitters. They're in the area. Are they making it tough for the smaller developer like yourself?
Well, not really, because their concentration is really, I'll say, mainly downtown, where the buildings, the skyscrapers and stuff are, and then to other communities such as Corktown. You can't get in there really anymore. Midtown is all wrapped up. There are, you got beautiful areas like Palmer Woods, Sherwood Forest, Indian Village, Green Acres, Boston Edison, you name it. A lot of those areas are all sold up, but it's good because Detroit is so vast. It's a huge place. So this is what I bought. This is McDougal, and this is Verner. So what I've done, and these are guys that are working on the side, what I've done is torn down as much as I could. And if I don't build there, which I'm not on this side, because that's where I live, right there. What I'm doing is cleaning out the land and making like a little park area over there. And I'm gonna show you more when we pull up here. And I got these guys working on this house. This is mine. I bought this whole block except for these two houses. This house used to be my house, but I bought this for one of my boys, my best friend, my brother, Chef Tony. He came back from New York, and but he's originally from Detroit. But it was time for him to come back home so we can do some major business. But I wanted to set him up and get him a home base, so I bought this for him, and we're rehabbing this still. This has been about a 4.5 year process, but we're doing a great job on this. We got the land next to it. A lot of this stuff is temporary, but we got it, going on to the degree where it's very, very, very livable. It's a very nice place. He's working on the inside mostly right now, and he's kind of like following my lead. But he was one of the first people to see my vision, and he wanted to be a part of it. And now he's doing his thing. He's tearing out the back of his house. This is all from his attic and all this other stuff. He spent at least $50,000 in the last 4 years on this house, and I know it's hard to really believe it, but he has. But again, the outside is not indicative of the inside. So what I did was it used to be a house on that side too. That house caught on fire before I even came over here. But I always used to see the house when I was a kid and everything because I lived on that other side of the street. And so that house burned down. This house caught on fire too, but I decided to save it. This house was vacant because the people who owned it lost it. So I went on ahead and bought that vacant lot from the owner. I bought this house. I bought that house. That house, somebody caught on fire. They I was supposed to have bought that house, but I don't know what happened with that. But I was able to get this land, and get that land, and get that land. And it's a house. I'm trying to get that right there. I'm trying to get this right here. What I've done is help my neighbors right here. And I've educated them on their property and buying land and stuff. So now they've been able. I told them what to do. So now they're buying their stuff. This now, believe it or not, these people would live next door to it, but they wouldn't own it. A lot of times people wouldn't even take care of it. But these people would take care of it. So now they bought all this land. So they're happy about things. So they just gotta, rehab it the best they can. But they are doing it the best they can. But I'm trying to set up something where I can get money for this area. And if you look back there, it's just vast land, and we're downtown Detroit. You can see the Renaissance right there. That's that building I was talking about, the Renaissance building. You could see right at the edge, right at the top up there. So now if you look over here, look at this. This is ridiculous. We're in a major city of the United States, Detroit, but this is what you see. But this is just right now. This would not be the same. Whether I'm going to get it, whether I get it or not, trust me, in the next 5 years, this will be unrecognizable, because that's what's going on with the gentrification process. What I see them do, they let the city fall as far down as possible. And most of these people are uneducated in this city, and they just don't have a lot of money. And the unemployment rate is very, very high in the black and the colored community. Okay, so now it's the time for them to come back to the city, and that's what they're doing with the gentrification, and they buying this stuff up for little or nothing. So I understand what's going on. So what I'm trying to do again is educate my people, my friends, my family on what's going on, and also get them to invest in what I see and what I'm doing over here. It's just, and what I want to do is not to build prefabricated houses. No, I want to build houses like this. These houses have been up for over 100 years.
Yeah, let's go look at these houses, man.
Over 100 years. My house built in 1914. That's most of these houses, and they're still standing because these were built correctly. So to put a prefab house in an area like this, don't get me wrong, it is messed up now, but it was not always like this. You really should come in and build the same type of houses that exist here. I don't get it. But in a sense, I do get it, because everybody tries to do things on the cheap. Okay, everything cannot be built cheaply, and it cannot be built, unfortunately, for low income. So what I'm trying to do, especially since we're downtown, I'm trying to build a different level, and trying to have people on a different level of thought. It don't have to be super expensive, but it doesn't have to be low income either. That doesn't really work, especially in any downtown in the United States. So I'll be building for more of a moderate to higher income level of people. And see, let's take a look. See, if you look at this house right here, the house I live in currently was in worse shape than this. But you can't look at a house for what it's worth now. You try to look at it for what it could be, for what the future of it could be, what the prospects are. And that's what you go with. And I like the way these people keep their stuff, So they always said that I was a blessing that I moved on this block and I started building and started doing the things that I do. But these people are inspiration to me too, because they stuck it out. They didn't leave the city when everybody else was trying to leave the city. Everybody's running to the suburbs. A lot of these people who are in the suburbs, they do everything in the city. They do everything here in Detroit. But now a lot of them are trying to move back, and it's kind of hard, because the areas that they really would like to move in, they can't afford it. Yeah, you want to go inside, or you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go in the front this way.
Okay.
Yeah, what I'm doing is started from the basement and had to get the basement lift. I had to lift the basement up to make everything even. It was unbalanced. The floor was very, very off balance, and so I had to do that, and also take these floors. These floors were jacked up, and I'm also making that opening right there is where the stairs are going to be. This is all coming down in this front right here. This is all going to be torn down and rebuilt. What I'm going to do is do my boy's, his wife has a lot of clothes, shoes and stuff like that. So I'm making her a staircase from the bedroom on down to her own master bathroom closet area. It's going to be really sweet. And then she's going to have another area to put her most expensive coats and stuff like that. There's going to be a cedar closet even on the lower level. So it's going to be really sweet, man. But I had to redo, these guys are redoing this thing from top to bottom. These are master carpenters and engineers. They know what the heck they're doing. And that's why they get paid the big money to do this stuff. So this is real thing here. And over here, used to be, this is actually commercial space. So this has been sitting here for a long time, for years, but there's a structure here that got jacked up, and I had to remove all the building and all the debris that was left of the building, and all of the, it was like basically a wooded area had grown up over here. It turned into like a forest within the debris. It was really crazy. So that cost thousands of dollars just to remove and to put the dirt back in the ground and to take out the rat walls and everything else that was here. And these are bricks. And believe it or not, when you're in this business, stuff like this is important, because all you do, you tear this brick off, but you keep it because you clean it up and you put it back on there. Okay, and what I gotta do is, once all this is done, I gotta power wash this building and everything, you know, but it's gonna be hooked up. This is gonna be a swimming pool area, so all this stuff has been dug up on the ground. This is all the plumbing right here. And what I'm doing is building a glass solarium in addition to the back of the house. And that's why you see the other plumbing area over there, because that's gonna be livable space, bathrooms and stuff like that over there. This is the 3-car carriage house right here. You gotta get the plumbing and everything over here. So that's what I'm doing now. So what I'm also doing is, you see this dirt and stuff I put over here, because what I'm doing is buying up this whole area right here too, because I'm gonna take it as far back, because I think what he wants is a little bit more land, which is cool. So I'm gonna get this for him and extend it over here. But also what I want to do, and what I'm doing, that's why I have my eye on like probably about 35 more properties in March, because if you look at this, you got squatters over here. This is a squatter right here. Squatters right there. Squatters. Pretty much everything you see right now is all being squatted. And believe it or not, people do live in some of this stuff. It's incredible. Except for this house right here. Okay. They've been doing the best they could all these years to keep their little house going. But yeah, you know, they're doing the best they can. But look at this. But they live across stuff like this. They live next door to stuff like that. They've been seeing stuff like this for years. And what bothers me the most is that people think that they have to live like this. You know, it bothers me that they don't, for whatever reason, they're not inspired to come out and do more. They will live next door to something that is jacked up and graffiti everywhere, and trash everywhere. They won't come together and just pick this stuff up and put it in the garbage. And you know, they won't call the city about it. The city has been, yes, broke and all this other stuff for a long time. Okay, but it does not mean that you should just give up on trying to get basic city services and trying to get a better living environment. Look at this. They shouldn't have to live next door to stuff like this, but this is what they can't get accustomed to doing. And then as a matter of fact, at some point they start adding to the litter themselves. People I see all the time, people will drive past and just throw stuff out the window because they see this type of stuff. You know, but this is all right, because this is on my list too. In March, I hope to get this too. My goal is to get all of this, because this is downtown. You can just see the buildings over the trees a little bit, but my goal is to get all of this. All of this is on my list in March. And what I would do, and I'm trying to get many of my Howard people to see my vision as well, because I want them to, they have the money to invest, and they are smart, and they know what's going on, okay? And what I want to do is build houses from the ground up, not just go and get a house and rehab it. No, I want to build from the ground up, and I want to build my own community of all good people who are thinking right and acting right and just straight up doing right on a daily basis. Not sometimes, but really all the time. Somewhere where a person would feel comfortable raising a family. So what I'm trying to do is build this whole area. So I'm trying to buy as much as I can. Some of the people who own a lot of this space, believe it or not, are some of these people who are the preachers and everything of these churches. These churches are buying property, but a lot of this stuff they're not doing anything with. Okay, and the only thing I ever see them really doing, unfortunately, is trying to maybe expand their church. They may buy some land to try to sit on it, to try to get as much land in the area to one day, expand their church, and everybody's trying to get a mega church or something. So those are the biggest competitors to me as far as me developing. The church people, these churches, like about 3 or 4 churches over here, and they own most of the land outside the city of Detroit. And it's just a wild situation. And what I've seen also is that the guy who bought the land and built about 20 prefab houses, he's probably the 3rd largest owner of this area. And then maybe me, believe it or not. And I only own about probably 10 in this area, okay? But again, I'm hoping by March, I'll be up to like 40 or 50, okay? And what I'm trying to do again is, at some point, connect all the land, even if I have to try to make a deal with some of these church people, or some of the preachers, and see if they would allow me to swap something with them or whatever, because I'm buying stuff in their area too that they probably going to need. So if I can swap land to tie myself together, I will. And I'm trying to make a deal also with the guy who owns the 20 properties, because he can't take it anymore. He's just ready to sell and move on, which is great. I have no problem with it. I talked to him about 3 times. He seems like he's on board. He already has a deal in place though with a company that is, I think, in Indonesia, believe it or not. And if that doesn't go through, I told him I'm on standby. I want to really get all of his properties. That would make things so much easier for me. In the city of Detroit, if you own land or a house or something like that, and there's a piece of vacant land next to you, you can get that land now. You can get that land for $100. $100 for a piece of prime land. Okay? Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to get any land for $100, but that's all right, because people can get it now, and hopefully people will do that, because a lot of times they're really living next door to something that if they just spent $100, if they just cut the grass and fence it off, they will have a beautiful space. So I think that's a good program that the city's put in place. I think we have the right leadership in our city, and I think we have the right attitude right now of the people that's moving to the city, But again, most of those people right now are downtown where the buildings are, but they starting to spread around here, and I'm trying to be, again, a person that's in control of the space. Now this house is burnt up and stuff like that. I'm still working on it. I got a lot of things to do in here, a lot. Okay, but let's just walk through here. But yeah, man, it's in temporary jacked up condition right now. But that's why I got all this stuff on the floor. That's why this looks like this. But anyway, that's a kitchen. That leads to a basement right there. That door right there. This is that's one of my son's bedrooms right there. Another one of my son's bedrooms. That son, the one that's, he may be in there, but he's gonna come over here. This is going somewhere else, probably in the basement. I gotta buy him a bed and everything tomorrow. And so this is his room right here, my middle son's room. This is their kitchen. I don't come down here really at all. That's my older son's bedroom. Things you see right now was not here. This bathroom, nothing was here. Okay, I put these walls in, I put these ceilings in, I put these everything you see, it was a window right there. What I did was blocked everything off and put my own walls. I put everything you see here. Okay, these windows, nothing was here. This house was slated to be torn down by the city of Detroit. All I did was cut a hole right here, made this an opening to connect this and make this all one unit. I live here by myself until my kids are, they home from college, so they here now too. But like I said, man, I'm gonna show you my house, even though it's jacked up right now. I spend most of my time up here and just kind of chilling a little bit. And nothing was here. Like I said, there's no walls here. There's nothing. I built this here. I had to do total restoration of the house, including electricity, plumbing, heating and cooling. You name it. This is like my little mini kitchen. This is going to be redone as well. This is the other part of the kitchen, which is going to be done. I'm still doing stuff. Here's the microwave range, and I'm putting up a new light fixture. And this is my view. This view from my house is going to be totally different next year. This will be totally different actually this year. I'm gonna start back on this in like March or April. As you can see here, none of this stuff was here. You gotta excuse my bedroom. Well,
I can edit that.
Okay,
so I see it all.
But here's another room. This is like my little library room. My kids like to come in here and study. And what I did was cut another hole in this wall. And I spend most of my time up here in the winter time. I come up here and I kind of chill out up here, but it's like I said, it's kind of messy because I didn't even think about, I was gonna have it my over popping. But this is what I come in. I chill most of the time, and but this wasn't here. I used to have pigeons. Pigeons used to were flying up here. They were living in here. Pigeon droppings everywhere. I mean, it's just crazy. But this is where I spend most of my time at. And I'm on the computer trying to do stuff in my office. I sleep right there because I never make it down here to the bedroom. This is where I'm going to build I'm building a back deck here. It's going to be on top of the porch, but I'm trying to get all that. As you can see, just this land everywhere. Vacant land everywhere. That's why I need my people to come back. My friends and family, my Howard family, I need them to see what's going on. I need them to come back, or at least to invest in this city because, like I said, unless they plan on investing somewhere that's already brand new, already nice, I mean, they're going to pay a small fortune. Right here in Detroit, you can get all this stuff, pretty much whatever you want, for the lowest prices you can think of. This is my front balcony. I bought this house for $11,000.
We gotta go now.
I bought that house for $7,000. I bought that house for $7,000. I bought this house for $3,000. Okay. I bought all the land, each parcel of land, for $250. I bought that land because they didn't want to sell that. The owners didn't want to sell it, so I gave them that. I ended up giving them $2,000 for this. Okay. $250 for that land. $250 for that one. And I got two other houses. I got 3 houses on the other side, on the other street, on 2 houses on Hunt Street, and another house on Charlottesville, and I got other houses up there near Grosse Point. So, I'm trying not to spread myself too thin in too many areas of Detroit, but there's certain areas that you just truly, really have to invest in. And if you look right here, that's downtown. I mean, that's the building. Well, all this is considered to be downtown Detroit. But those are actually where the buildings are. Like I said, if you can see buildings from your porch, you are in good shape. Down here, which is Verner, and I'm buying down there. So everything on this side of the street is developed side. It's apartments and co-ops and stuff like that. Condos, you name it. On this side, it's old houses. But all this land, all this possibility. And I'm like, why people not running over here trying to get this stuff, you know. They don't see what's happening. Well, you know, apparently they don't. Look, if you can look way down there, it's still nothing. Nothing. So I have a real master plan. I'm just glad I got 3 people on board, and every single one is with me. My 3 other partners, one from California, LA, one is from New York, and Chef Tony, he's back here in Detroit now. So they follow my lead, and if everything goes right, it should be wonderful, you know. But I'm trying to get all this stuff. I got everything on paper. I got everything written out. I got the plan putting the plan of action in place, or in action right now, and I'm just trying to make it happen now. And this is my 2.5 car garage I'm going to build. I'm going to build a glass solarium on my stuff too. This whole thing, what you see right now, will be 100% different next year. You know, hopefully you come back and look at this again. You won't even be able to tell what it is.
Wow.
It's gonna be beautiful.
That's what's up. So we out here, Urban Wall Street, man. We in Detroit. What part of Detroit we in right here?
This is downtown Detroit.
Downtown Detroit.
But it's the undeveloped part of downtown.
Undeveloped. So listen, man, you know, a lot of things happening. You know, we're not always paying attention. A lot of times, you know, we miss the boat on things. Listen, man, the Reconstruction of Detroit, Urban Wall Street, we here. We're going to document the evolution of this community. So you keep watching. My man Chico Sorrell, Trendsetters LLC, Howard's in the building. But keep watching. It's a beautiful thing. Detroit, I'm here, baby. What's up?